Good afternoon, everyone. I trust that you can hear me. Please confirm you can hear me. Anyone? Go right ahead and mute and confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Done.
Perfect. So good afternoon, Councils, and welcome to today's webinar. Just before I begin the session, we are seated somewhere along Mombasa Road in a very beautifully furnished office. Trust me, running my own practice, the price of one seat here says a lot. So the conversation is in line with finances, and I can imagine by the time you get to the point of equipping such a farm, there's a lot of balance and place that you have to get into. Anyway, my name is Karen Rono. I still remain your moderator for the time being. Mr. Okenyo had to step into a meeting, hence me holding his brief for the time being. He might actually pop in towards the end of the webinar. But nonetheless, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to run this particular conversation. I remain Karen. I run my own practice by the name and style of Chelangat Law Advocates. And today I am privileged to have my senior, who I have known for several years. In fact, we have a very funny story of how I almost ended up doing my pupillage here, but fate decided otherwise. And I was just making a very interesting remark that time looks good on him. And he started smiling against me. And we'll see him shortly. It's just that I love the element of suspense. The man, let him smile here with mpaka mafuta kidogo, and then we get to the conversation. So I did a bio, and this is my own. So it might not be up to date, and we were trying to reconcile a few things, but we'll get to know who the man, the legend is towards the end as we get to know who he is. So allow me to read what I have, and then he'll correct me as we continue. So Mr. John Diro, my senior, is an advocate, is a distinguished advocate of the High Court of Kenya. He's the founder and managing partner of Diro Advocates LLP. He's currently a PhD student at Africa Nazarene. He also has an MBA from the same university. He has a notable career in legal practice and public service. By public service, I just essentially mean that in this sense, he has represented enough organizations within public service. He has represented clients in high-stakes litigation and has been instrumental in shaping discourse around governance and the rule of law in Kenya. He has provided legal advisory and legislative support for several counties, contributing to sound policymaking and institutional accountability. He is also actively involved in constitutional litigation, having sought to participate in landmark cases addressing reforms within Kenya. Beyond the courtroom, he is very passionate about civic engagement and education. He serves currently as the president of the Kenyan chapter of the Makerere University Alumni Association, where he leads initiatives to strengthen the alumni networks and celebrate the impact of Makerere graduates across the region. Something I've always found interesting is there's a certain crop of lawyers or a certain age bracket who went to Makerere, and for whatever reason, they're all successful. So he needs to tell us what is the secret behind this university, especially during a certain gap of years. He is a respected voice in legal and civic circles. He also brings a wealth of insight on public law, institutional reforms, and the intersection between governance and social justice. For today, he brings to us a conversation on financial management in law firms. And something I definitely have to point out is, even as we're having this discussion preparing, he's one of the many lawyers, a few lawyers in this case, who I have seen genuinely grow his practice into what it is today. And one of the things I want to understand, even as we're having this conversation, how do you've started your law firm, you've probably started as sole proprietor, and I say this because I'm being a bit selfish, but please feel free to ask in the chat section, but you've started your law firm, you've stepped into practice, you've taken the challenge, you're trying to get clients, you're doing a lot of business development, you're in court, you're trying to juggle all this. Then one day you wake up and decide, I need to get a partner. You start going into our legal circles and identifying the right partner. All this, again, still involves finances, because even when you're getting a partner, there's an aspect of you come from different money origins. Fine, you settle into your partnership, and then now you have to understand what goes into, you receive fees. What happens? Do you consume all your fees, or do you set aside some for investment, others for overheads? So that's the discussion today that we'd like to have. Before he begins, I'd like to ask him a question before I turn the camera right to him. What's the one thing people don't know about you, save for you hate politics and you don't like being in political circles?
Uh, Thank you. I'm not a media person. A very good friend of mine who is also an advocate of law, that I just give an insight on the financial management in a law firm. What most people don't know about me is privacy. I love my privacy. Yes, I love my privacy, and that is my king. In fact, you'll be so shocked that even in the profession, most advocates don't know the face of John Diro. They know Diro, but they don't know how Diro looks like. Yeah, and that's how I like to do it. I do my things quietly.
Unless we've gone head to head in court.
Yes, unless now we go head to head in court, then I become very combative. I represent my clients with passion and emotions. Emotions are involved because it's a world where you have to really win for your client. Yeah, but with I keep a very close knit friends who, when we are together, I become me. I enjoy my space, and I love rumba.
I feel like rumba goes with something else, but we'll get to that towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also a family man. I have 3 children. Chad, Brandon, Mali, Munifa, and Jordan, Malawi. I have 1 wife, legally married.
Just to be clear.
My firstborn son, Chad, is currently a law student at the University of Nairobi. I have nothing to do with it. He woke up one morning because I thought he was going to do engineering, and he said, "Dad, I think I want to do law." Yeah, and I encouraged him. So he's charting his own path away from me. And looks like the other 2 of his siblings are also passionate about doing law. Yeah.
Against taking the attention from today's conversation, if I may ask, because a lot of senior lawyers have carved out paths for their own children, in the sense that even as they're independently doing whatever they're doing on the side, they eventually join the law firm. Is that going to be the case with you?
Not really, because we run this firm in a very different model from the other law firms. When he closed the school, of course, he would once in a while come and work here. But he told me the other day that he wants to now get a different feel in other corporate organizations. So I encouraged him to do that. I will not influence him moving into any organization, despite the fact that I have contacts in some of those organizations, because I also want him to build his own contacts, contacts that will respect him and that he can own. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no influence in him coming to work here. No.
Okay. Yeah. That's a very politically correct answer, but thank you nonetheless. So today's conversation, I am not sure how you want us to run it, but would you prefer us starting off from when you start your law firm, the costs associated, towards the end? But again, you are the captain of this ship, so please run it however you please.